morning and welcome to WyoToday Sports Live here on 101.7 KDNO. I am Kevin Shields. I'm back. I've been gone for soccer for the past couple weeks. Regional and state soccer. Of course,
I don't know
regional,
when I talked to you, you were in a hotel.
Yeah, regional soccer is one of those things that might, and we'll probably talk a little bit about that, might be on the WHSA chopping block, and it kind of makes sense because 3A doesn't have regionals anyway. 4A is the only one that does. Of course, then state soccer last week, and we're going to talk all about that. Of course, we're joined, as always, by Cody Beers. Baylor now in Cheyenne. Congratulations to him. And we are joined as well today by Jerry Muchmore, one of our voices on the Lander broadcast team and the voice of Lander Valley. Lady Tiger and Tiger Soccer. Jerry, how's it going?
Just fine, thank you.
Good. So first of all, we're going to jump right into track, and we're going to try and not miss anybody. But it's a long list. But congratulations to Addison Alley. Excuse me, I keep wanting to read these backwards. State champion, 100 meter hurdles in the 4A.
She was dominant all year, Kevin, and just an outstanding performance at regionals and state. It's been a long time since a Riverton girl has been so dominant in a hurdling event. Of course, Caden Liebrecht, all-state in the weights. I believe discus, he finished second in Class 4A. So congratulations to that young man. Outstanding senior season, all-state in football, all-state in track. So you kind of measure your future athletic success by how you do in track and field. Because it requires a lot of your different types of skills, speed, technique that you learn in football, things that you depend on, Jerry. Track and field goes hand in hand with success on the football field.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, and of course at the in 3A, Lander Paisley Hollingshead 4 for 4. She's only a junior. Won the 100 hurdles, the 300 hurdles, the high jump, the long jump. So four-time state champion. She's joined by Dorothy Jensen, a fellow Lander Valley teammate who won 3 races. She's the state champion at the 800, the 1600. And the 3,200 meters, and she also helped Lander win the 4x800. And so that while y'all talk about that, I'm going to look up those names real quick so I get them right.
Well, I mean, just outstanding athletes for Lander at the 3A level. Deegan Reinhardt also, I believe she won both throwing events, right, in Class 3A?
She placed in the shot put, I think, third.
Okay, she won the discus?
Yeah. And then, I don't know if she won, and then Adeline Anderson did well in the shot put. She got first place there. And
there
the discus, in the discus, it wasn't near as well. She threw out and hit the net a couple times and didn't get a throw in for the discus.
Of course, it's Anderson who's going to the Big Ten.
Yeah, Wisconsin. Yeah, I ended up talking to her track coach. He called me up and he said that he basically recruits the person before he recruits the athlete, and he sees no reason why she can't excel in the collegiate level in the Big Ten as she did in the state level here.
That's just an outstanding message. It depends largely not only what you do on the field, but these coaches are spending a lot of their scholarship funds, and these schools are investing in people. And what you do off the field is at least as important as what you do on, because you don't want a problem when you recruit a potential athlete. So we've seen that plenty of times with Georgia football. They recruit problems, but that's a little joke to Kevin. But you want to recruit quality athletes, and Anderson's an outstanding athlete and a good person too.
Yeah, most of the Lander high school kids are very active in the classroom as well, academics, a lot of AP courses, etc. And she and Paisley Hollingshead are going to head up to Eugene in a few weeks and do the invite there for the nationals. on the West Coast.
Yeah, that'll be
So those
really
two are-
interesting.
Yeah, so those two are traveling up there. I'm trying to get a hold of Rounds, the Josie Rounds, the head coach for the track team, and find out if there's anybody else going up there also. But I know those two for sure are Charlotte talking to the dad and Adeline. So
Lander does have connections to that national track meet. The Ghost kid from Lander competed in it a few years ago. Did a great job, and it's fun to see. Again, Fremont County athletes competing on the big stage.
Yeah, absolutely.
They actually hold their own very well.
Yeah, and Eugene, of course, home to University of Oregon, home to Nike, which is one of the reasons for big track. That would make sense. It never made sense to me how Arkansas is such a great track school, but it is. The 4x800 that Dorothy Jensen won, she was the anchor for it. She was joined by classmates junior Savannah Taylor, junior Daisy Goklish, and senior Katie Anderson. Of course, one of the interesting parts, Kaden Liebrick, of course, broke school record this year. Shot put, of course, Anderson at going to the Big Ten and going to be a Wisconsin Badger. Both of them kind of battled some injuries this year, missed some time. And that's kind of, we wish them all the best. Of course, you're trying to kind of bounce out. You want to finish high school strong too, but especially until you sign the dotted line, those Power 4 scholarships are few and far between. Cody, I don't know the last one that we had out of Fremont County. It might have been Parker Paxson, who got an athletic scholarship to a Power 4 team.
Yeah, Parker's, of course, playing golf at the University of Colorado. His brother Easton finished, I think, fourth a couple weeks ago in the Saltwater Pro-Am here in Riverton. Of course, he went on a full ride and went to North Carolina State for 4 years playing golf. So, I mean, it's far and few between. But when we get one of those, we watch what they do and how they act in public. How they, they're under the spotlight, and both of those Paxton boys, outstanding examples of good young men.
And it's a huge change too. People don't realize, I think, to some extent, what a big jump that is. As far as, you're going to Wisconsin or Colorado or whatnot, you are moving to a campus that has more people than our town does. So, and in some cases, like in the case of University of Wyoming, University of Wisconsin, excuse me, a significantly amount. Like they have the population plus of the county on campus, so it's a big deal. It's a huge thing. They're a little bit of fish out of water, so to speak, and how they conduct themselves has been top notch, and everything like that. Speaking of Adeline Anderson, though, she won state. That her in the prelim, she outthrew everybody by 10 feet, which is an absolute whipping in track and field. But in the finals, got a little bit less than that. She still won by 8 feet, only 8 feet though. I know it was close.
Yeah, I mean, geez, Kevin, they got close to her.
Yeah, no, it's just, but that is the difference when people go, hey, what's the difference between a smaller school and like being recruited like she was to the Big Ten? There you go. That's the difference. She's not only the best in the state at it, she's by far and away the best in the state at it. It's not even close. And same thing with like Parker in golf. He was a 4-year state champ. I wasn't here when his brother was here, but I heard he was dominant too. That's really the difference, to have elite level athletes like that. I'm trying to scroll through here real quick and just make sure we didn't miss anybody from Lander.
College track and field is a much different animal than high school track and field, and she will be expected to train year round, improve. Probably red shirt, who knows? But it's really going to be fun to watch her career as it goes, and if she can stay healthy, I believe she can have a great college career.
Oh yeah, I mean they don't come find people in Riverton, Wyoming, and stuff like that, because track and field does not have the resources of like a Power 4 football or Power 4 basketball or even Power 4 baseball. So, I mean, they do their research. They found a great one. They want her there, and she's also going to have, she's going to be able to train year round. The expectations will be high. The bar will be set high, obviously. She'll have better resources than at any high school, really, in the country level wise. She'll have the best trainers. She'll have. It's going to be great for her as she kind of pushes that forward and see what the future holds. Is it, try and compete for Big Ten title, national title, and go on, or is she got some Olympic hopes, or what anything in between? So she's put herself in the position through, not just 4 years of high school hard work, but hard work her entire real life, 18 years, to put herself in this position. And now it's paying off, and now the work just intensifies. But knowing her, covering her signing and stuff like that, she's gonna be just fine. And she's really gonna enjoy it, and we wish her all the best. Can't wait to follow her career. So now we're going to jump over to soccer. Of course, soccer season ended last week. We'll touch on Riverton. Riverton qualified for state for the second year in a row. Both programs. The girls had qualified had qualified before. Boys joining the mix. State didn't go the way we wanted it to, quite frankly. Of course, the boys lost 2 and were out. They did put up a good game against Sheridan, who's the one out of the East in the first round, in the title round, if you will, in the quarterfinals, and they fell 3-1 in that one, and then they were eliminated the next day by host Thunder Basin. The girls faced number 1 out of the East, Thunder Basin, and that game was tied until the first session of extra time at 0-0. And they scored, and then second frame of extra time, Takeda Yarber, I don't know how the goalkeeper reached back while she fell down and pulled it off her foot, but she did, unable to get the tie. And then the girls fell to Sheridan. So we were there for 2 days, but great getting to state, especially both programs. The boys has been Coach Diedrich Becker really building it. And the girls, it's going to be interesting next year, guys, because the girls graduate a lot of key players. Probably even more so losing Ayana Meharado and Kami Paskett to graduation was huge. Leading scorer and 4-year starting goalkeeper this year. But they were able to kind of make up for that in the aggregate, as not goalkeeper, but in the field. This year, they're losing basically both their main forwards. They're losing one of their midfielders. They're losing 2 on the back line. They're losing their goalkeeper. So Riverton girls soccer next year is going to look a lot different. It's going to be interesting to see. There's people who have started to step up, but some people, does Carson Vosika move from the wing, so to speak, to center? Does Kimber Mathill move from defense up? I would anticipate yes. But on the boys' side, they're a little more set. They lose, of course, everything, Mr. Best running back in the state in football, one of the best soccer players in the state, Hunter Saltzgaber.
3-time All-State, by the way, after this year's All-State honor.
But they played a ton of what we kind of deemed on the broadcast the super softs. A ton of sophomores who are really talented. Their soccer first mentality, kind of like Hunter was. And so I think that program's it's got to replace Blake Gantenbein gone, keeper gone, and Hughes.
Hughes also All-State.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. We started his fan club on the air just because he was incredible. But Landon Hughes, Blake Gantenbein, several Weston McLaughlin, several guys. There's some holes to fill, but he's been playing these sophomores and a couple freshmen and several juniors. They've got some people to step up. And it kind of looks like it might be Braden Terry who kind of fills not Hunter's shoes as far as what he's capable of doing. He's a magician, but fills that role of potentially being in the midfield where they're playing through him. He shared the lion's share of the duty on free kicks and stuff like that with Hunter. He's got an absolute cannon. He doesn't quite have the footwork that Hunter has, but that may come. So, and that should be a good little team. Of course, the girls and boys from Lander made it all the way to the state finals. Of course, unfortunately for the girls, Jerry, they ran into same thing in basketball.
Yes,
Cody, who will be 4A next year anyway.
Yeah, Miss Grace Hayes.
So Grace, she's not, from what I've seen, she's not quite the soccer player she is in basketball, but she's not far behind either. So tell us a little bit about the girls' game and how everything went down. And
sure, they started off very hot. They didn't give up a goal in their first 2 games at all. So they were solid all the way around. Blue Blackburn is the forward up front, striker. And then they have 3 midfielders that can also play extremely well. Their back line is anchored by Addison Rounds and Kennedy Bernard. They're both seniors. They're going to miss them next year, but their goalkeeper is extremely solid in Angie Rudd.
She was named All-State.
Yep. She's only a sophomore, so she'll be back for 2 more years. So they did extremely well. The game was exciting. That ended up going to extra time because they finished tied up 0-0, and the first one they held their own too. So the second overtime, I was hoping for a shootout because I think Cody, Phillies have some great players all around, but they rely on Grace Hayes so much that depending how the coaching and the players would have stepped up, but I'm very confident that the Lander ladies, penalty takers in a shootout, had a solid 4, easy, just on their experience level and their powerful shot taking. So it was heartbreaking. It was kind of a fluky play up high. It's kind of hard to see. They had a freshman that covered Grace Hayes, Demi Sullivan, and she was on her hip back pocket like 90% of the game. And Grace Hayes is just I think Addison was just trying to clear it, fluky bounce, whatever happened, and Grace Hayes was sprinting already. So they turned around and tried to chase her down, and just no luck, and she calmly put it in the back of the net. So they lost 1-0, but they only gave up the 1 goal.
Well, you had Andrew Rudd make All-State. Finley Morton made All-State.
Yeah, left back.
Addie Rounds.
They got a bunch.
Brindley Hammond. And that looks... Oh,
Britt
one
Richards.
more. Blue Blackburn on the girls' side.
Right.
Britt Richards as well. Of course, facing not just Grace Hayes, but that back line,
Yes.
of
Solid.
Mally Ivanoff, 2-time All-State, and a girl that played basketball last I knew, Ellie Talich, 4 times All-State on the backline defense for Cody. So
Of course, younger sister of the Talich kid who plays defensive back at Notre Dame. And their dad, incidentally, was a middle linebacking legend at the University of Wyoming, Jim Talich. So there's a good bloodline there. And Cody, of course, the Hayes thing, too, is the same type of deal. But I did want to mention, Kevin, that Yarber was All-State for Riverton, 2-time All-Stater, and Murado All-State in 2025 also. She's All-State this year in girls soccer. So, good to see these county kids.
Decatur making All-State. Trying to see on the girls' side. We'll pull up the boys in just a second. Of course, now the Cody boys played immediately after and secured the bag, so to speak, secured state championship. Congratulations, obviously, to them. A big deal for them to go out and get this. Played well all season, but especially as you and I talked a couple times, got hot at the right time too.
they were
Playing their
peaking at the right
absolute
time.
best. Talk a little bit about that state title game. You got to call something I've yet to call. I know Cody's called them with Wyoming Indian. Our Thermop guys haven't gotten a call. We always want to call one. A state championship game.
Yeah, it was outstanding. Basically, toe-to-toe, the first 20 minutes or so, Lander had some confidence because they beat them at Cody 2-1 earlier in the season, so they knew that they could do it. Coach Brian Rising is quite the character. He starts getting them pumped up at halftime of the girls' game, and it's always interesting to see the away fans turn around and look because he's extremely loud but extremely positive, a lot of feeling, a lot of heart into his messages before the game. And their secret weapon is obviously junior striker, forward, all around Caleb Andrews, who scored 34,
I'm not
35
sure
goals.
he's a secret.
Well, in the aspect that he didn't play. This is his first year on the high school team. He did some club ball down in Denver where his parents would take him every weekend. And I talked to him earlier in the season because he also was on the basketball team. And he said he came to Lander High School to win a state title in his junior year. So mission accomplished, without a doubt.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
You got some all-staters for Caleb Andrews, midfielders Josh Lozier and Jude Dellinger.
Jude's a freshman, and he's incredible cerebralness. I've kind of nicknamed him the Maestro, and what he does in midfield is amazing.
And you're going to have to help me with this name. Defender
Knockhazel.
Sawyer.
Yeah, Sawyer Knockhazel.
Knockhazel.
And it was interesting in the podium how afterwards you had the team photo, obviously, and then how the kids got together, and Caleb Andrews made a point to get Sawyer Knockhazel, and because they're both Knockhazel's a senior, and he covered the whole field. He would play defensive back line, midfield, and he would go up, especially on the corner kids because his height. And he was amazing, without a doubt. And also, Josh Lozier was another wing, and Sawyer Knockhazel has a younger brother who's a sophomore, and he plays up the left wing mostly. And he's going to come back next year too. So yeah, they have solid players.
Yes, they do. Okay, so we don't want to leave out the all-conference selections either. We've talked about our all-state. So on 4A Girls West, of course, Braden Mossberger, goalkeeper for Riverton, named all-conference. Timru Mathil and Takeda Yarber on the back line. Midfielder Celia Mejarado and Takeda Yarber on the back line as well. I think I already mentioned that. And that was it on the girls' side. On the 3A girls for the West, it's going to be really Cody and Lander heavy, I would assume. You got Rudd in goal again.
Yep.
She was all set. Finley Morton, Addie Rounds on the back line. Midfielders Brinley Hammond and Britt Richards, and Blue Blackburn at forward. I cannot seemingly find the boys all conference.
Yeah, I have it pulled up here. They showed it up late, so I'll just focus on the West if that's okay.
That's
On
fine.
the
Yeah, that's fine.
conference there. So
Just whoever from local
Yeah.
schools.
yeah, on the defenders, obviously Sawyer Knockhazel and Grady Phillips. He was solid and very important on the first half of the season. He ended up with a concussion at one of the home games, and he missed 3 or 4 games, so it took a little bit while. But like Coach Brian Reasoning said, it just gave an opportunity for someone else to come in and step into it. The midfielders, they're all solid. Jude Dillinger's just a freshman, the maestro. Josh Lozier, I believe, is a junior. He might be a senior. He picked up incredibly well. He ended up being their corner kick specialist, and he had a knack of finding Caleb Andrews for numerous headers on Caleb's 34 goals. And then we've talked about Wiley Knockhazel, the younger brother of Sawyer Knockhazel. And the forwards, dominant team. Obviously, Caleb Andrews. And another very important piece was Garrett Romer, because he would run speed. One game I was on the corner of the sidelines, and the ball came and he was running, and the closer he got, it sounded like a freight train. I mean, they were moving. So he opened up a lot of space for Caleb. One of the games, Caleb had 3-4 goals. And I said, "You got your hat trick early." He said, "Yeah." And I said, "But then after that, you kind of stopped." He said, "Well, I wanted to give my partner Garrett Romer an opportunity and build his confidence up too." So he's been planning this run, Caleb, for quite some time, and felt like the team was there and wanted to join it. And hope he comes back next year, but he might be going to junior college. He's being recruited by the #1 JUCO college in Iowa, ranked in the nation. So he's already talking to him, and there's a good shot he may leave early.
He might declare early.
Yeah, he might not even
declare
do
his class.
basketball, and go
He's
start.
already graduated.
Go start college.
On the boys' side, of course, it was just Landon Hughes and Hunter Saltzgaber, which I think there were several deserving all-conference on Riverton. and Austin Romero, Braden Terry. However, the bad part for them at 4A is you're in the same conference as Kelly Walsh and Jackson. And Jackson somehow, the boys, I don't believe, I think Kelly Walsh upset them. I didn't keep up with it. I was on the way home. But I do believe, hold on, let's pull that up real quick. But, of course, baseball ongoing. Roy Peck would bat was just this past weekend. Riverton, I do believe, won 2 of their 3. And it was kind of weird because they were all somewhat, if I remember
I
correctly,
thought they
looking
went
at
3-1.
thought they only played 3 games, 2 on Saturday, 1 on
well,
Friday.
They only lost once, so
Yeah, they played 2 on Saturday because Marshall, of course, brought you all that
they
action.
didn't play on Saturday or on Sunday.
No, I didn't see and didn't
I'll
hear.
call it up.
So they played a doubleheader on Saturday. Well, not doubleheader. They played at like 1:30 and 8:30 Saturday.
We would
night.
be remiss, guys. I know we're getting into baseball, but going back to track, if we didn't mention, congratulations to the Thermopolis Bobcats.
Oh, yeah.
Winning second at 2A state track. And again, great bunch of athletes. We saw them all year in football. They played for a state championship. They won basketball, and then they finished second in track. So outstanding performance by the Thermopolis Bobcats. Of course, you're listening to 101.7, the home of the Thermopolis Bobcats. So, we need to make sure we mention that.
Here's the interesting part. In girls soccer and in boys soccer, all year, 1 and 2 was basically Kelly Walsh and Jackson. They went back and forth. Well, neither one on the girls' side and the boys' side was that way. Thunder Basin beats Kelly Walsh the girls' game. It went to penalty kicks, and they won it 4-3. So Thunder Basin, the host, wins that one. On the 4A side, Kelly Walsh faced Jackson, and Jackson was undefeated coming in this game. They tied Kelly Walsh once and beat him once at K-Dub. Kelly Walsh handled him 4-1. Ethan Leslie, who yes, he is the one, I do believe. He plays on travel ball team with Hunter Saltzgaver. Ethan's good, really good. Yeah, he had all 4. So congratulations to Kelly Walsh. Seventh school title in soccer, but their first since 2012, which is kind of surprising because Kelly Walsh has been one of the more dominant programs at any level in soccer for quite some time. They're one of the only ones, if the only one, that doesn't have just like Jackson has a separate practice field for soccer, and they use it during state or regionals or whatever have you. Kelly Walsh has their own soccer complex, 2 fields, its own press box, its own everything. So they do invest heavily in the sport. So congratulations to them. It's just a shock because Jackson basically was camped out in that one spot for girls and boys all year, and the boys at regionals, they said they were going to be using their first game, unfortunately, against Riverton to get ready. They're up 4-0 in the first 10 minutes and 56 seconds. They were playing their very best, and then they walked in. Why you play the games, I guess. They walked in and lost.
The Roy Peck tournament, guys, they've moved it up to Memorial Day weekend over the last few years, but the Raiders opened on Friday with a 19-6 win over the Lander Legends. The Legends actually led in the first inning, but then Riverton answered with 5 runs. It was Cheyenne over Douglas, a doubleheader there. It was, let's see, let's go back to, it was Powell beating Lovell 8-0 in the tournament. Let's see, I'm looking for more scores Riverton-wise. Not finding them on Wild Preps.
Oh, I got them because I got the game changer.
Okay, that'd be good because they did not report any on Wild Preps other than that first game against Lander. But baseball will continue to take up space between, of course, now and football, Jerry. And
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it also. Kevin stated that I'll be doing some of the Lander games too, the home games.
Senior Babe
Lander
Ruth.
with a couple programs playing, Legion and Senior Babe Ruth, and of course Riverton playing Legion.
Riverton played the Lander Legends on Friday the 15th.
19-6.
Yeah, 19-6.
As I just said.
For the Roy Peck, which started on the 22nd, it was 6-1 over Lovell on Friday. Then turned around played at 1:30 against Jackson Giants and lost 11-3, and then beat Wheatland that night at 8 with an 8:30 first pitch, 7-1. So it was kind of, and that's been kind of
How about on Sunday?
their season. They didn't play on Sunday.
Okay.
They played
The
late
tournament
night Saturday.
continued on
I
Sunday
know there were
and
three.
Monday,
I know
right?
there was Sunday. I don't think it continued on Monday. I think
Okay.
because there was only like 4 teams or 5 teams there.
There was 6.
It was 6.
Yeah, it was a good tournament. It really was. Good job by the folks up there, too. The field looks great. Brand new scoreboard. Of course, they host the State B tournament in July this year, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, looking at the tournament breakdown, Riverton actually played the fewest games of anybody. Everybody else played, well, except for them and Lovell. They both played 3. Everybody else played 4. The winner of the tournament, if you will, Jackson, who went 4-0. Riverton going 2-1. Lander going 1-3 for locals as far as that goes. So, team's got a lot of bats. Of course, it always comes down to pitching. But they have got some really, really good bats. Of course, none other than Bo Anderson, who plays every sport, I think, but football. He's batting .485. Basin Anderson has come on. He struggled a little bit during the wood bat, and his average has dropped down. But Basin, of course, young cousin of Bo, he'll be there. Of course, the leaders from last year, Heikela, Anderson, Baker, Yates, Trujillo, they're all batting over 300. Of course, then when you look down to you look at Jamison Spradlin, basically it's just get on base any which way, and he's going to try and steal. So a lot of speed, a lot of good contact hitters, some power on the team. The one thing, really the only huge area they had to replace is they had to replace their ace from last year. So,
Well, in Riverton, generally, you're far and few between with ace pitchers, so you have to pitch to contact and you have to play defense. And that's the way it is in Wyoming Legion baseball. Overall, there's a handful of quote-unquote aces out there. So you're throwing kids out that are throwing in the, if they're lucky, in the mid to high 70s. For the most part, you'll end up with pitchers that throw in the 40s, too. And those were the pitchers that always took care of the hitters when I was coaching the Raiders. Was, these guys that come in, it's kind of like that old cartoon, where Bugs Bunny pitches the ball and it like stops like 3 times going to
throw
home
the
plate.
knuckleball.
Yeah, it's really
And those off-speed pitchers can cause a lot of havoc in Legion baseball. So because you hit, pitching machine balls and batting practice balls that are all basically throwing the same speed. So, but it's a fun season, and it'll be a hot and heavy deal through June and July, and then state tournament for A teams down in Green River the first week in August. Double A is up in Gillette this year. Division I, so to speak, they're calling it, up in Gillette the same time of the year. So it'll be a fun season, and then we'll start talking about football. So,
and a little shout out, Raiders pitching wise are going to have to rely on Baker and Anderson, Bo, not Basin, a whole lot, and Addison Trujillo for that matter. They're really the 3 that had significant pitching innings from last year. And you got ERAs and whatnot over the board, but shout out to Bo Anderson. His ERA is 2.52, which for Legion and the way, like you were saying, that's pretty darn good. So if he can help keep that up, Braden Baker's in the 3s, which isn't that bad, especially when their bats are going. You heard the scores. So, we got baseball, high
tonight,
rodeo kicking off too. Du Bois rodeo kicking off.
You were
Everything
still
like
talking
that.
about baseball.
No, go ahead.
Tonight the Raiders are at the Lander Legends at 6:00.
Cool. I have to check that out.
And then let's see if they have any games through the weekend. Riverton's schedule will start picking up as they play in 3 tournaments in June.
I know Riverton plays on Monday night.
I believe that's the only game they've got scheduled for the weekend is tonight at 6 over in Lander. If you have time, go over.
Yeah.
Lander City Park, beautiful ballpark.
Of course, Du Bois rodeo kicking up. The rodeo season kicking up. We're at that fun time, kind of right on the precipice of all the summer events and things of that nature. So we look forward to that. as well. So,
And as of yesterday, we're 100 days from the opener, Wyoming at CSU football.
a lot of Friday night games this year.
3 of them.
Yeah, which is going to cause some issues for a lot of us potentially. So,
I still
figure that
maintain that football high school should have Friday night. College should have Saturday.
Absolutely.
And college could have Tuesday for all I care. But Friday nights are for Friday Night Lights, and that's high school football.
I'm in agreement. That's why
But it's TV.
You've got several schools nationally that refuse to play on Friday night. They just won't do it. Now, they can only pretty much do that at home. They can't really dictate, especially if they go out of conference, if someone's playing. I do get why the Mountain West would want to have some Friday night games, because they'll have TV kind of to their lonesome, or much less. You won't be facing Big 10, SEC, Big 12 everywhere. It's why, like the last couple weeks of the season, we get a bunch of MACtion, as they call it, with the MAC playing like 2 games on Tuesday, 2 games on Wednesday, 2 games on Thursday, to get their brand out there. And that's nice to see that the Mountain West is, as much as I don't like it because I want to go to the games, you, of course, work the games. It makes that with high school a little more difficult for us. But at the same point in time, I like them getting out there and really trying to promote the brand, because the Mountain West, a lot of times, night games are always fun, but night games on Saturday night, we've lost half the country because it's so late. So it's nice to see them trying to promote the brand, especially with like Northern Illinois coming in and stuff like that. To really put it on some nights. It's just, I wish there weren't 3 of them. 1 would have been better. But, it is what it is. I mean, how
Wyoming
often do we get to be
Cowboys-
on FS1?
Well,
too,
and
so.
Wyoming Cowboys with 10 nationally televised games this season. So 10 out of 12, that's
Not
a
shabby.
really nice piece of marketing that you don't have to pay for if you're the Wyoming Cowboys. So
Yeah, that last one is going to be on FS1. The other home game is on CW. I don't know the road game.
they're
on
actually
Friday night
on the
that's on.
CW about 4 times this year. They're on FS1. They're on USA against CSU to open the season, so that'll be interesting. But college football is strong, and we talk about the portal and all that, but it's good to see these teams getting a lot of exposure, not only for the team but the school too. And, and the state of Wyoming.
It's absolutely huge for all of them, and it's nice to see the Mountain West looking at some alternatives, and nice to see CW and USA, and of course joining the fray. But we could talk about that all day, and we are out of time. So, of course, the Rockies, I'm sure, play tonight. I don't have the schedule in front of me. I apologize. It will be on KWYW, as it always is. Follow all the Rockies action there. And, of course, that's really, outside of us doing some local baseball, we're now kind of in our slower period. Okay. So, for Cody Beers and Jerry Muchmore, this has been Kevin Shields. You've been listening to WyoToday Sports on 101.7 KDNO. We'll see you next week, Friday at 8:08 here on KDNO.